What's happening, guys, and thanks for tuning in. We've got a little bit about two different battlefields today. We've got a little bit about the community map project, because that's had its weekly update with some cool changes, and then we've actually got some information about the first DLC for Battlefield Hardline as well, so we're going to talk about that. But firstly, let's get stuck into the community map project. Now, the main changes you'll notice in the community map project are visual. But what they have done is they have added an audio layer now to it, so you're going to get some more audio rather than it being dead silent, which is good. They've added a little bit of destruction to the ghost buildings as well. And what they've also done is they've made the river slightly wider near the temple so that you can potentially get a rib boat down it in the future. So that might be something that we're likely to see on this map. Talking about the temple, though, this has probably had the biggest change this week on the entire map. As you will remember from my previous video, the temple used to be right underneath the waterfall at the bottom of the cliff face. But what they've actually done now is they've offset it into the mountain. They've dug out the mountain into sort of a cave, and the temple is now sitting inside that. And it does look pretty cool, and I think it gives the waterfall more of a feature as well. So I kind of like what they're doing with that. Also, at the medical facility flag, they've changed a couple of the buildings. On either side, there used to be one of the large generic buildings, but they've turned those into smaller huts now, and it's nothing much right now, but I expect this particular flag to have quite a lot of iterations before we get the final layout. Now, bearing in mind, lots of stuff isn't in the map yet, cover, things like that, but they are adding in small little objects, stones, random objects just to fill the map up, and it's slowly building into something really cool. And it's awesome to be able to see this come from nothing to something. That's really nice. Now, moving on to Battlefield Hardline, we've had the first DLC details, and you're probably wondering, why the hell are you showing me Battlefield Hardline single player in the background? Well, all will be revealed in a second. So this is what they've announced for the first Battlefield Hardline DLC, titled Criminal Activity. It's going to be early access in June for premium members, then 2 weeks later for everyone else. It's going to have 4 new maps, which I'll get onto in a second, 2 new rides, so we're going to get 2 vehicles somehow. I mean, it could be a quad bike, it could be some sort of boat, it could be anything. There's going to be 2 new ammunition types for specific weapons. So that's pretty interesting. So we're going to get some Magnum ammo type action going on maybe, but something slightly different. So we'll have to wait and see because there's really no information on that. There's no point guessing. A new gadget, again, could be anything right now. 3 new weapons. I have a feeling the ammunition types are going to be related to those 3 weapons. And also a nail gun battle pickup. Okay, well, if I can nail somebody to the wall, then I'm all for that. There's going to be a new game mode called Bounty Hunter. Now, I think that's one of the things Battlefield 100% needs right now is another game mode. Hardline is aching for another game mode, so that I think is a cool thing. Quickly though, going back onto the maps and the reason why I'm showing single player. There's 4 new maps and one of them is called Black Friday. Now, Black Friday is a very well-known shopping day in America. It is filled with absolute madness and wizardry. And I thought to myself, well, there's actually a mall or a shopping centre in the single player. I mean, could it be based around that? Now, the one in the single player that you're seeing here, it is torn up quite a bit, you know, by the storm. But it really wouldn't surprise me if something similar to this was the feature in the Black Friday map. I mean, it might not be. It could be an entirely different setting. Entirely different. It just so happens that this is a complete coincidence that there was a shopping mall in the single player, but then again it might be something similar. So it wouldn't surprise me if some of the assets were reused for that map if it turns out to be some sort of shopping center. The other 3 maps, one is called Backwoods, which is pretty intriguing because that sounds like it's sort of a foresty setting or an outside of the urban setting, which is something that you don't see that much right now in Hardline. It's pretty much all urban right now. Then the other 2 is Code Blue and The Beat. I mean, again, they're pretty generic names. I mean, they're police terms, so they could really relate to anything. Lastly, though, there's going to be new masks. Yes, there's going to be masks. We saw 2 more animal masks. One was a rabbit mask, because why not? One was a gorilla mask, because why not? And then they're going to have 4 new police headgear options as well. So that's what they've announced for the Battlefield Hardline DLC. It's going to be coming in early June, and they really, really need to nail this. It needs to be nailed. The new game mode needs to be nailed, but more importantly, the netcode needs to be fixed. Please, for the love of God, sort it out. But that's the news roundup for today, guys, and check out the community map project if you haven't, because it is looking particularly nice now. And as always, I'll see you next time.